Under the guidance of the crew cut man, General Lewis, now in disguise as a city guard, walked openly through the streets. By this time, the night was deep, and the streets were deserted. Only heavily armed patrol squads moved about, keeping watch. Key checkpoints and major roads were guarded by elite soldiers. Even the patrol teams had to present their identification tokens to pass. General Lewis walked at the rear of the group, his hat pulled low to obscure most of his face. With the dim lighting, it was difficult for anyone to recognize him unless they got close. Thorian Reese is truly meticulous. If not for the Pantheon God's spies assisting me, I wouldn't have been able to leave the capital at all. Seeing the numerous patrols, both overt and hidden, General Lewis couldn't help but feel a chill in his heart. They had only traveled about 5 miles but had already passed through 7 or 8 heavily guarded checkpoints. Besides the obvious roadblocks, hidden sentries lurked in the shadows, monitoring the streets at all times. At the slightest disturbance, these secret guards would act immediately. Earlier, Lewis had considered escaping the city on his own if he failed to make contact with his allies. Given his profound martial skills, he believed fleeing the capital wouldn't be an issue. But now, he realized he had underestimated the situation. With checkpoints every 10 steps and hidden guards every 100, sneaking out was nearly impossible. If they were discovered, the entire city's forces would be upon them in an instant. At that point, even with his unmatched abilities, breaking through the encirclement would be a hopeless endeavor. The streets remained silent as the group moved forward without a word. Even when encountering other patrol teams, they only exchanged brief nods, avoiding unnecessary conversation. Blending in with the patrol squad, General Lewis steadily made his way toward the outer city. After about 3 hours of walking, they finally reached the last checkpoint before leaving the inner city. This checkpoint was the most crucial. It marked the boundary between the inner and outer city. Since the lockdown had begun, no vehicles were allowed to operate in the inner city. Only in the outer city could one travel by carriage. A large number of soldiers were stationed at the inner-outer city junction to prevent unauthorized movement. While the city guard patrols had free reign within the inner city, they were not permitted to enter the outer city without proper authorization. As the crew-cut man led the group toward the checkpoint, over 100 elite soldiers immediately tensed up, their eyes full of vigilance. "Halt! The city guard is only responsible for inner-city security. What are you doing here?" The leading officer spoke sternly, his sharp gaze scanning the group. As he spoke, his hand moved instinctively toward the hilt of his sword. The other guards also turned their attention to the squad, their expressions filled with suspicion. General Lewis frowned slightly, secretly preparing his internal energy. Everything had gone smoothly so far, with barely any obstacles. He hadn't expected to be stopped here. Had they been exposed? "No need to be nervous, General. This is just standard procedure. Leave it to me." The crew-cut man lowered his voice before stepping forward with a friendly smile. "Brother Zhang, it's me, Lu Jun?" The officer squinted, his sharp gaze finally easing a bit. "What are you doing here?" "As far as I know, your job is to patrol the inner city. Without official orders, you're not allowed to leave." "Brother Zhang, I'm just following orders from above. I have official business in the outer city. Please make an exception." The crew-cut man kept his tone light and casual. "Lu Jun, we all serve the same authority, and you know the rules. The entire city is under lockdown. Without an official token, I can't let you through." The officer remained expressionless. Normally, he might have been willing to turn a blind eye, but the current situation was different. With the city under strict martial law and a massive manhunt underway, any mistake, no matter how small, could cost him his position at best or land him in prison at worst. His career and safety were on the line, so he couldn't afford to take any risks. "Of course, Brother Zhang, I wouldn't put you in a difficult position." The crew-cut man chuckled and pulled out a copper token from his coat. "This is a direct order from Commander William of the Enforcement Division. I'm acting on his behalf." "Commander William?" The officer carefully examined the token for a moment. After confirming its authenticity, he returned it and asked, "What urgent matter requires you to go to the outer city in the middle of the night?" "Brother Zhang, it's not that I want to keep secrets from you, but this is a highly classified mission. Commander Williams strictly ordered me not to disclose any details. If I do, my position will be at stake. I hope you understand." The crew cut man lowered his voice. If it's an order from Commander William, I won't question it further. After giving them one last glance, the officer turned and waved to his men. Open the checkpoint. Let them through. At his command, the guards quickly removed the barriers blocking the road, opening a path forward. Many thanks, Brother Jean. The crew cut man cupped his fists in gratitude. The officer simply nodded, saying nothing more. Let's go, everyone. The crew cut man gestured for the group to move forward. However, just as they were about to pass through the checkpoint, the officer's gaze suddenly shifted to the last person in line. His expression darkened. Wait a moment! Those two simple words instantly sent a wave of tension through the group.
And just can't accept it. This can't be the end yet. You promised to never leave, and now you're gone. Can't believe I can feel the world slipping away as you slowly fade from my everyday. You promised forever a love without end, but now I'm left broken, struggling to mend. I thought we were so tight, destined for a lifetime, love with no end, love with no end. Staying in my imagination, memorizing the past time, the secrets, the love, the care, now they're echoes in the air. I still see your face in every place, feel your warmth, your gentle grace, but now there's just an empty space, and I'm lost in this endless chase. Keeping you in my heart, a piece of you I'll never let